We're here live from Radio Row in New York City, ESPN Radio 94.1, the Nick Cachola Show. We are joined right now by former NFL linebacker, most notably with the Seahawks, Chad Brown, and Sam Cachola from Reality Realty. We'll get into why you guys are here in just a few moments. First, Chad, I want to talk some football, obviously. As a linebacker, Chad, who would you rather face? The versatility of an O'Shawn Moreno or the bruising, punishing running style like a Marshawn Lynch?
Punishing running styles wear on you as the game goes along. A guy who's versatile, I mean, that's certainly difficult to defend. A guy who catches passes out of the backfield. O'Shawn is more than a capable third down protector for Peyton Manning. Can run the ball inside, can run the ball outside. But that back who seeks out contact, who wants to impose his will on you, at some point, you start making professional decisions out there. You start making a decision, well, am I willing to risk my face for this play? How much of my body is a yard actually worth? So, yeah, again, O'Shawn Moreno, tough to defend, but Marshawn Lynch makes you question your love for the game at some point and how much of my body am I willing to put on the line to stop this guy.
Now, the opposite offense I want to talk to you about as well. Peyton Manning, what is the toughest challenge when you face a Peyton Manning? Is it mentally? Is it physically what he can do with the football? What's the biggest challenge against that guy?
The biggest challenge is he's almost always going to have his team in the right play at the right time. So whenever you scheme up some blitz or you scheme up with something unusual, you think, oh, we've got him. Well, he recognizes it and he calls the right play at the right time. So you constantly feel like you're off balance. You never feel like you're ahead. You never feel like you're imposing your will on him. You're always reacting.
Right.
He takes the, I played for Dick LeBeau, Bill Cowher with the Steeler defense, that 3-4 Blitzburg style defense. We attacked people. We put offenses back on their heels. They were forced to deal with our aggression. A lot of times defenses respond. We attacked.
Right.
Peyton eliminates the attack of the defense because you're always trying to respond to what he does.
That's an interesting point because Seattle's defense loves to play physical and they love to attack. So it's going to be interesting, battle of styles in a clash that I guess we're all hoping for, that Broncos offense and that Seahawks defense.
It's going to be great. Now, the Seahawks defense doesn't give a lot of odd looks.
Right.
So we're used to Peyton Manning at the line of scrimmage going through all his actions and gesticulations. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of that this week just because the Seahawks kind of line up and say, this is who we are, this is what we do. I'm sure Pete Carroll will have some wrinkles for Peyton Manning. You can't let Peyton Manning attack your defense for a full 4 quarters and expect to have a good chance for success.
Right.
He'll figure it out. But Seattle's got to have some kind of wrinkles. But even if they do come up with some wrinkles and they don't continue to change those wrinkles, Peyton will figure those out. There have been times where I've been playing Peyton where after a while I just gave up trying to hide and confuse him because it ended up confusing me. I'm trying to get in his head, and now I can't do my job as well. I want to show him that I'm blitzing when I'm really dropping. I want to show him that I'm dropping when I'm blitzing. Well, now I'm not in a good position to blitz. And so simply by trying to do that, it's taking me off my game, and I can't play as well. So he makes it difficult from a number of perspectives, schematically, play-wise, but also just the mental battle between one guy on offense and all 11 guys on defense trying to figure out what he's trying to do and also trying to fool him.
It's crazy. It gets you second guessing and on your toes. Chad Brown, former NFL linebacker with us. He's here for VirginiaHeroes.com. That's right, VirginiaHeroes.com. We'll get into that in just a few moments. One guy that I love to watch, especially obviously this year where he really came on the scene, is Julius Thomas. Tight end, Denver Broncos. If you're the linebacker and your job is to defend Julius Thomas, do you play him physical? Because when I see him play, there's no doubt about his athleticism. There's no doubt about the routes and all of that stuff. But from a physical standpoint, at times I've seen him try to engage when trying to block, and it doesn't look like he likes physicality that much. Would that be your plan against Julius Thomas? Knock him off his spot?
If he's trying to block me, then I probably recognize the play's going the other way because I think even the Broncos coaches know that's not what he wants to do.
Right.
He's another one of those former basketball player tight ends who wants to out-athlete guy. A Tony Gonzalez. He became a pretty good blocker into his career, and I battled him a number of times as a Seahawk when he was a Kansas City Chief.
Right.
The tight end Antonio Gates down in San Diego, another basketball player, but plays with a more physical style, more than capable blocker. But a Julius Thomas, Jimmy Graham in New Orleans, those guys are kind of almost hybrid wide receivers because they don't want to get their face dirty and block. Now, that's not their forte, but as a linebacker, my forte is not covering guys who are more athletic,
right,
who are taller than I am,
yep,
who have been trained because they're basketball players with the skill to go up and snatch the ball. Those rebounding skills, they use those when they catch the ball. So, yeah, if it's a run play, I expect to kick those guys' butts. But if it's a pass play, when they're releasing on their route, they expect to kick my butt.
Denver's defense is also something to take a look at, Chad. They've played better over the past month and a half. I don't know if that's because they've improved or who they've played, but aside from that fact, how do they handle Russell Wilson? How do they handle Marshawn Lynch? Do they have enough? I know Terrence Knighton is fantastic. Do they have enough defensively to slow down and contain that running attack for Seattle?
You know, you mentioned them playing better. The last 2 games this season against the Texans and the Raiders, I'm not sure if you could take a lot from that.
Exactly.
But they played much better. So that we kind of had a question mark in Denver media. I do media in Denver. Is this for real? So the Chargers come into the game pretty hot. Ryan Matthews running the ball really well. They stop him. New England Patriots come in. LeGarrette Blount running the ball really well. They stop him.
Shut him down.
So now it seems to be confirmed. That's 4 games in a row where you guys have improved each week. So despite the injuries they've had on the Broncos defense, they're playing at their highest level of the season when you need to be playing that well. The question is it good enough to stop Marshawn Lynch? Far better back than LeGarrette Blount, far better back than Ryan Matthews. Seattle's DNA is to run the ball. They're not going to give up. The Patriots gave up running that ball pretty early.
They did. No commitment.
Seattle's not going to give up. That's what they do. Also, how did you stop Russell Wilson? Not the most proficient passer in the NFL, but this passing attack actually ranks really high in explosion plays. Russell Wilson buys time with his feet. He's able to escape the pocket and throw the ball downfield once the kind of play breaks down. Really good at that schoolyard kind of football. Well, how do you do that? You got to find a way to contain him, keep him in the pocket because he's not so good there. Here's where it gets difficult. That stretch run with Marshawn Lynch, you want to defend that. Russell Wilson pulls it out and boots the opposite way. Your defensive end, who was crashing down to stop the run, is now responsible for keeping Russell Wilson in the pocket. He's got to be really smart and have a really good set of eyes on him all game long, because if he stays with Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch cuts back where that defensive end was.
Right.
He stays with Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson pulls it out, bootlegs around, has a run-pass option, and now can throw the ball downfield once the play breaks down. So it's tough to defend because of those 2 great athletes, Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson.
Chad Brown with us, sitting in the Headlights Gold Club guest chair on Radio Row in New York City. Just a couple more, then we'll get to why you're here and talk to Mr. Sam Cachola. If you look at the defense of Seattle, a lot of people talk about physicality and speed and the names. If there's one thing about that defense, Chad, that sticks out to you as a former player that maybe the casual fan might not get, it might not jump out to them, what would that one aspect be of that defense?
Watch on Sunday how fast all 11 guys get to the football. So that covers up for virtually any mistake you may have. If you've watched the Seattle Seahawks defense during the course of the season, sometimes there's a pass completed 15 or 20 yards downfield, but it's a defensive lineman running downfield and making the tackle. Watch how many times when the play ends and the Bronco ball carrier or pass catcher's on the ground, how many times you see 8, 9, 10, 11 guys in the screen. They run to the ball, I think, better than any defense in the NFL this season. That's how you eliminate big plays, because teams are going to catch the ball. Guys are going to miss tackles. Running backs are going to break tackles. But when you have 11 guys running to the ball like that, you can cover up for those types of mistakes.
All right, so all that said, Sunday, game kicks off about 6:30. Who do you have winning and why?
You know, this is a tough one for me. Obviously, I played for the Seahawks for 8 years, collected paychecks from them. Thank you very much, Paul Allen. You've secured my family's future. But I live in Denver. Denver's been home base for me since I played at CU in 1988. I do Denver sports media. I've been around this Broncos team all season. And it's not just a number one offense. It's a record-setting number one offense.
No doubt.
It's the all-time number one offense.
No doubt.
I was on the Patriots 2017 when they had the number one offense all time. This team's even better than that. Great quarterback, 5 weapons, 5 guys with 10 touchdowns or more. Also another NFL record.
That's just insane, by the way.
I think that is perhaps the difference in this game. As much as Seattle's defense is going to run to the ball, as many great playmakers they have at all 3 levels of the defense, how do you defend 5 guys? You can take away 1. You can take away 2. Perhaps you're even good enough to take away 3. But Peyton Manning's always going to find the right guy, and he's got no problem with a play that's called to go downfield to little dump pass to Noshawn Moreno and let him pick up a first down. He's got enough patience for that. So you couple the 5 weapons with the quarterback who can take advantage of those 5 weapons, I think that gives the Broncos the edge in this game. And I see him winning a close one, maybe 3 points, 5 points, somewhere around there.
I do hope it's a tight game because I expect it to be a very good game. It'd be very disappointing if it wasn't. All right, let's get to why you guys are here again. Chad Brown, former linebacker in the NFL, and Sam Cachola, who works for and owns, I should mention, Reality Realty. Guys, tell us about the VirginiaHeroes.com project and Reality Realty. I guess I'll start with you, Sam. What's it all about?
It's a national program. It's actually part of the Homes for Heroes program. We affiliated with them about 5 years ago. It just makes a ton of sense for us. We wanted to give back to the community. I'm a former Marine. I actually came through Virginia Beach years ago. I've got tons of friends at the Naval Special Warfare Group in New Mitzi, so special shout out to them. Tom Barton, I hope you're listening. So I'm rooted in that, wanted to give back to the community. And what Homes for Heroes is all about is offsetting the cost for our community heroes, our firefighters, our military, our teachers, nurses, EMTs, all the folks who make our community go. And those are the guys who are out there doing it every day that enable us to have these types of professions. They're taking it on the chin. So when their life settles down and they're getting ready to put down roots, Homes for Heroes is the one we want them to turn to, because we're going to help educate them and make sure they're making the best decision they can. And on top of that, offset their costs by donating 25% of our commission, no questions asked. And I want to be real clear, it's not a bait or switch. These guys are going to get 25% of the commission, or it goes to the charity of their choice. Bottom line, it's a national program, 1,100 affiliates nationwide standing by to make a difference in a hero's life.
Anything to add to that, Chad? He's so good.
Yeah, well, he's fantastic. That's why I bring him along. But for me, my dad was in the Marines. My father-in-law was a colonel in the Air Force, so I have a great appreciation for the military. My mom was a teacher her entire life. So people think of us as NFL players as heroes. We're not. We're just some dudes who entertain you on a Sunday. And It's obviously it's the Super Bowl, and look at this circus going on around the game. So we've been elevated to hero status. But military members, police officers, firefighters, teachers, those are the real heroes. Those are the real glue and backbone of our communities. And to be a part of this Homes for Heroes program, got me excited because, again, I'm just a dude to entertain you on Sundays. But if I can help the real heroes do something, achieve the American dream, put a roof over their heads, I'm all about that.
Chad Brown, former NFL linebacker, and Sam Cachola, owner of Reality Realty. Check out these 2 websites, realityrealtypros.com and virginiaheroes.com. Guys, as you know, Virginia Beach, a transient area, 300,000-plus military. Great thing you guys are working on. I appreciate the time and hopefully talk to you down the road.
All right, thanks guys.
So much for
appreciate
the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
There goes Chad Brown. Up next, George Sedano from ESPN Radio from Sedano and Stink will join us here at Radio Row in New York City.